Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Nicole Hernandez. We want to start with meteorologist Thomas Patrick. As always, Thomas, what's going on in the weather department today?
Feels like today is just kind of our easiest day, but it's still not a nothing. Yeah, knock on wood, right? Not a nothing day, though. It's still breezy outside. It still feels plenty cold as a cold front has worked its way through the region, which, again, yesterday gave us another batch of some fairly strong winds. It was like 50, I think, what's the note here? It had 54 mile per hour wind speeds. I got all my notes in front of me here. Today, 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. Breezy, but mostly sunny, and that should be great news. Save for our far southern areas. Basically, this is exactly where the cold front is laid out. It's right over Elk River, Orofino, Lewiston. Still a bit of light rain, just kind of flowing right along that region, but anywhere north of there, like here in Spokane, should have a mostly sunny start to the day. The other update we got as of this past hour is that the winter weather advisories for the Silver Valley got canceled early. It was set to go till 10 a.m. here. Allowed to cancel early because it's not actively snowing there anymore. However, the Cascades are still under winter storm warnings all day today and most of the day tomorrow for over a foot of snow for areas like Snoqualmie Pass.
Here's a live look at the traffic impact right now from I-90 in Hamilton. We're seeing some more vehicles on the roadways heading west into downtown Spokane, but traffic moving great. No major issues to report at this hour. We will keep a close eye on traffic throughout the morning and let you know if there's any problem spots. On Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. New video from earlier this morning showing the aftermath of a crash on eastbound I-90 just before Spokane's Altamont exit. We are seeing reports of an Amazon semi-truck veering off the road and knocking out guardrails. Washington State Patrol says 2 people were hurt in the crash. Troopers say the driver was going too fast and crashed. The impacts of windstorms still being felt across the region this morning. Power lines down, homes caving in under the weight of fallen trees, and normal routines disrupted. This morning, school is canceled in the White Pine Joint School District because of power outages and impassable bus routes.
Thousands of people are still without power this morning. So this is a look at the Avista outage map here. You can see scattered across the entire region still plenty of power outages. They say more than 12,000 customers are without power this morning. This now is Inland Power. This morning, Inland Power customers 100 without power. And now Kootenai Electric. They have 1,000 customers without power. Lastly, a look at Northern Lights. This all out in North Idaho, of course. You can see there more than 3,000 people do not have power this morning. Now, a lot of these outages are in the Silver Valley. Thousands of people there are still waiting for the lights to turn back on. Paul Good, the electric director of operations for Avista, says damage to the transmission lines in the Silver Valley caused most of these damages. He says they have 14 crews working in North Idaho and they are working 24/7.
A few transmission lines serving the Silver Valley, and we really saw a lot of damage, historic damage to our transmission system. And a lot of those lines on the transmission system, they're off-road, and so that access makes it even more challenging.
Some people in the Silver Valley could be without power until tomorrow or Sunday.
This morning, we're learning the name of a man who died when a tree fell on his home during the historic windstorm. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy spoke with his family last night. Here's their story.
Kind, generous, and warm.
He was the first guy in a long time that spoke to me like I was a human being.
Is how Brooklyn Smith describes Kent Butler as her partner of more than 10 years and stepfather to her son, Micah.
He was like a second father to him. And yeah, there's just the whole universe has lost a lot with him being gone.
Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says Butler was sleeping in their home early Wednesday morning when a tree fell on his home due to the historic windstorms this week, falling into their bedroom while they were sleeping. Butler died at the scene. Smith recalls the moment she realized she was trapped inside their home and looked over to where she was used to only seeing her partner beside her.
And when I was able to get out enough to look over to Kent's side of the bed, there was nothing there but the tree trunk.
She and Micah managed to get out of the home, but the pain of losing the man she loves, Smith says, is still with her and her loved ones.
I don't know how I'm gonna survive without him.
Right now, Smith says she and her son are staying with family friends. In her grief, she says she's blown away at the kindness of her loved ones and, in some cases, strangers.
I'm very grateful to all the friends and family and stuff who donated. Some person who didn't even know us made a pot roast for us.
As Smith and her son plan for their next steps after this tragedy, she says she'll never forget her partner and loved one.
I'm really, really, really eternally grateful to everybody who's helping us so that we can at least have like food and clothing and be able to find somewhere to live.
Well, right now, Smith says they are not sure if they can move back into the home after the damage or if they have to live somewhere else.
Other news this morning, an update about the Pullman man who took his 2-year-old daughter to Mexico last year. A judge found him guilty of international kidnapping. You might remember Aaron Ong did not bring his daughter back to her mom when he was supposed to in June of 2024. There was a huge search for the two of them and Aaron's girlfriend. Mexican officials eventually found them in Mexico in July and returned them back to the United States. Just yesterday, Aaron's girlfriend, Nadia Cole, pleaded guilty to similar charges. And Aaron's father, Jaime Ong, was also convicted for international parental kidnapping and conspiracy. All three are scheduled to be sentenced in March. Investigators found the suspect in last weekend's deadly mass shooting at Brown University.
Authorities found the alleged gunman in a New Hampshire storage unit, already dead. Here's what we know at this hour.
Ending a multi-state murder manhunt. Overnight, authorities closed in on a storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire. The suspected Brown University gunman and suspected killer of an MIT professor found inside a storage unit, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
He was sophisticated in hiding his tracks.
The alleged shooter, identified as Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, a 48-year-old Portuguese national living in the U.S. legally. Brown says he was a physics PhD student at the university between 2000 and 2003 before he dropped out. School officials say he likely took classes in the same building where he allegedly opened fire last Saturday, killing 2 students and injuring 9 others. Police say he's also believed to have killed MIT professor Nuno Loureiro Monday night.
This was always going to be an investigation where something was going to break it open.
The key to breaking the case, according to a police affidavit, was interviewing an anonymous Reddit poster. 3 days ago, the person described seeing the suspect with a gray Nissan Sentra. Investigators tracked the car to a rental company in Boston where the suspect used his real name on the application. Authorities also discovered the suspect's storage unit in Salem, where his body was found.
And because of this shooting, the Department of Homeland Security paused the diversity visa lottery program for immigrants. Secretary Kristi Noem did this just a few hours ago, not long after authorities found Claudio Valente. Valente came to the U.S. through the diversity lottery visa program from Portugal in 2017. He was granted a green card. Noem says President Donald Trump directed her to pause this program.
New this morning, the U.S. military says it carried out 2 more strikes on boats suspected of drug smuggling. Those strikes killed 5 people. U.S. Southern Command says intelligence showed the vessels were traveling along known trafficking routes. The strikes bring the total to 28 boats hit, killing at least 104 people. The Trump administration says the campaign is needed to stop drugs from entering the U.S., but some lawmakers are not so sure.
Time is 6:09 as we go back to our weather forecast for today. A slightly calmer start to the day than we've had recently here. I know it might still be a breezy outside, but this is not a style of wind that's going to cause any more damage for the region, unlike recently. Instead, all the wind is doing is making it feel a lot colder outside. A near 20-mile-per-hour wind with temperatures in the 30s means that it feels like 23 degrees outside. That's the wind chill factor. You combine the temperature and the current wind speed. So it kind of feels like it's 20s and 30s across the region just because of the wind. But thankfully, not nearly as violent or as strong as it has been recently. A breezy day, but a sunny one, especially to start. And we'll be tracking at least a chance for some snow or rain over the weekend. We'll cover that in more detail coming up.